seconds. So
Okay.
go live, leave a comment. What would you like it to say exactly?
I don't know.
Just stand.
Actually, at this moment, I wouldn't mind switching with you.
No problem.
Oh my God, look at you guys. Thank you for coming. This is so good. You tell me when I'm live. We are? Oh no, he's going to tell me. Hi, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming today to our in-person, yay, talk. And this my second live stream. I'm very excited to be doing it again. Little nerve-wracking, but it's so nice to know that there's so many of you out there that actually are able to hear the talk, not just the people that are here, but thank you for coming in person. I really, there's always a moment where you have to thank the people that make things happen, and it's really important that I thank Erin Stewart and her team at Gladstone House, the new Gladstone House. They've actually hosted 2 events for us now, and they aren't even actually officially open. So we are really grateful to have them as a sponsor. I also have to thank Lewis and Lily from Images Life Media, who helped me produce my first live stream. And not only technically are they my support, but they are my 100% moral support. So thank you for doing this again for us. I really, really appreciate it. So without further ado, just so you know, this will be recorded. I'll have it up on the Wedding Co. website as well as CatherineLash.com, so you'll be able to visit it there too. So without further ado, I'm going to start my talk. Thank you. I just want to start off by saying I really wanted to be able to do this talk without referring to my notes. One of my goals is to be a better speaker and one day to do a TED Talk. As today got closer and closer, I realized the thoughts I wanted to share with you are too important to forget. So I've chosen to read from my notes so you feel the full effect of the ideas I'm about to present. I love taking big ideas that evoke strong feelings and boil them down to the least amount of words possible. So if I had more time, this talk would come out to be 1 tweet. This is exactly the challenge I am presenting to you today, to take that complex, unique person you are and drill down into the feelings that drive what you do and create a clear, purposeful statement defining why you do what you do. The title of this talk was conceived a year ago. I had a strong feeling that it was important, but I didn't yet have the words for it. I knew I needed at least a year to study it, understand it, practice it, and take it apart and build it into this talk. You are your most creative challenge. If by the end of this talk, you choose to accept the challenge, the work you put into it will provide you with many rewards, including the compass to guide you through your career and life map. You know when people ask you to remember a time in your life, an image burned into your mind that you can't let go of? I have one of those. It's me sitting alone at my desk with hunched shoulders, staring at my laptop, paralyzed by my own shame. It was the fall of 2013, and I found myself $130,000 in debt with no clear path out. I was desperate for help, empathy, and understanding. Now, it's not what I did that brought on the result of this personal financial crisis. It's why I did it, that I now look back on with a clear understanding of how I ended up alone, frozen, and loathing myself. 2 years prior to that moment, I had reached out to someone in the industry who I thought was a worthy rival. Although we might be trying to attract the same clientele, I was hoping we could work together to help each other move forward. What I received on the other end of the line was someone who did not want to play together. They wanted complete control, and they were out to win. Their words at that time were hurtful and belittling, and my course of action to prove them I was more than what they thought I was to go head to head with them in their field of expertise and embark on a new project to prove them wrong. Why did I do this? I wanted revenge. What did I want to happen? I wanted to win. Well, I didn't win. In fact, not only did I lose, but the people who trusted me, who were trying to help me get my revenge, were waiting for the tens of thousands of dollars I owed them. I'm telling you this story because it's the perfect example of how important it is to understand why you are doing what you do is what will produce the results you are looking for, not what you are doing. I have had 2 different careers. My first as a photographer and my current with the Wedding Co. Unbeknownst to me as a photographer, I was searching for my why through the lens of a camera. I thought it would magically appear in the photos I was creating, and my career would naturally flow and grow into the picture in my imagination. It never did. I was always in a state of struggle. Decisions were hard, and the self-critic really loud. There was no flow. The pieces of the picture in my imagination of my career as a photographer never materialized. The solution? Jump to a greener pasture, a new career where I could start a new life puzzle, free from struggle, where my purpose would present itself. Just as in my photography career, it started off with excitement and enthusiasm. But slowly, consistent growth and innovation got harder and harder. I was right back in the struggle, having difficulty making decisions and listening to the critics in my head. And of course, there were moments of crisis, as mentioned above. It wasn't until researching career number 3, through a process of journaling, defining my values, and understanding my beliefs I had about myself, it started to become clear to me that why I wanted a new career was more important than that career was going to be. In other words, my cause for action was more important than my course of action. Then I discovered Simon Sinek, the author of Start With Why. Simon believes you must have complete clarity of your why, the thing that you bring to the world, so you can inspire others to follow you, buy your products, and most importantly, spread your cause. So how do we bring an entire portfolio of experience of our values and our beliefs and our own unique cause down into words? Unfortunately, the part of the brain where your why lives has no language. It is the part of the brain that is responsible for feelings, human behavior, decision-making. So to put your why into words is no easy task. There are many ways to create your why. My methods of finding the words for my why are simple. I study the words of those who inspire me in the industry I am passionate about. When I come across a word that evokes a strong feeling, I research it, define it, redefine it, and try it in my statement. For example, I read a book called Braided Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teaching of Plants by Robin Wall Kimmerer. The author uses the word in spirit. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines in spirit as to fill with spirit. The word evoked such a strong feeling in me, I knew it was important. I even made up my own definition for it, to connect with something they already know. As for studying my industry, I study leadership and specifically self-leadership. I read books and listen to podcasts by leaders such as Brené Brown, Simon Sinek, and Doug Conant, and many more. My why, the unique thing I bring to the world, is to practice and in spirit self-leadership so we can live the life we desire. To actually construct my statement, I used an easy formula from Simon Sinek. A why statement always starts with to and ends with so. The to is the action or your superpower, and the so is the impact you will have. It is infinite and inspires you. So I choose to practice and inspirit self-leadership so we can live the life we desire. It has taken me a year to research and to put into words why I wake up every morning. And I will tell you, it has evolved even up until last week. And every time it evolves, it becomes more powerful and meaningful. The important thing to remember about your why is that it's not created for everyone to easily understand. It is not a traditional elevator pitch based on what you do. It is your unique guiding star that will attract those who believe in your cause, and in turn, they will attract others. It's your best marketing tool. And it's always there when you need it to slow the pieces of the puzzle you are trying to put together to create the future in your imagination. I managed to walk away from the edge of bankruptcy with the skills that we refer to as survival skills or instinct. But truth be told, I ended up in the same place as my photography career. I still couldn't move beyond my own glass ceiling and put words to why I was waking up every day. So after a year of challenging myself to define my cause, I have the words I repeat to myself every day to remind me of the thing my unique self will bring to the world. So before you jump to the next career, procrastinate making a tough decision, or get paralyzed by the critics, remember, life is an infinite game. There are no winners, so create your why and let it guide you to the life you desire. Thank you. Thank you. I made it. I thought I was going to cry. In fact, I cried every time except for that, so that's pretty good. Does anybody have any, I don't know if you have any questions or thoughts or anything? Oh, Katerina has a question.
You mentioned that your why is not an elevator pitch. What would be the difference? Like you kind of explained what would be the difference, but can you just explain that a little bit further? Like what would be the difference between you saying your why to somebody and versus your elevator pitch to somebody?
I think really the why is becoming the new elevator pitch. Really, we used to, in 30 seconds in the elevator, you had to tell someone what you do. People don't want to know that anymore. They want to know the cause that you're fighting for. And they want to feel, when you start to talk about the cause that you're fighting for, what you need to do is get into people's feelings. That's what you're trying to do with your why. So that evokes behavior, because that's where behavior lives. And so it's really important that we don't just tell people what we do now, we actually tell them why we're doing it, and it will resonate more, and you will get more followers, sell more products. And yeah, I think it's just a new way of thinking about the elevator pitch. I mean, especially after COVID, I think people have really reevaluated, and people are looking for their why or their cause. And when you think about waking up every day with a cause as opposed to waking up to just go and do something, it changes what your morning routine is, it changes why you go to work. But for me too, my why is really important because the decision making is so much easier. I had to make a decision if I was going to memorize this talk or not, because that's something I really want to do. And when I went back to my why is to practice and inspirit self-leadership so we can live the life we desire. Well, the best way for me to inspirit self-leadership was to read every word that I had written and not just try to do something that was a goal of mine, because the goal is to inspirit self-leadership. And it was important that I make that break and just say, you know what, I have to read this. The words are too important. So yeah, I just really think it's a different way of telling people why you wake up every day. You don't wake up to make wedding gowns. You wake up to the cause. And it's hard. I'd love to like make up people's causes, but it took me a year to make up my own. So, but that's what we'll do with the wedding company over the next years, really drill down on our whys and how to actually use them. And I have to tell you, it's a bit game changing. I waste very little time now making decisions. And I will tell you, I had strong critics in my head, who was me. The biggest one was me. And I am so easy on myself now. You know, a mistake is just a mistake. It doesn't mean I'm a mistake. And it's been really game-changing in that way for me. The shame, as I said I have a video of me, and there is no room for shame in self-leadership. And self-leadership is my definition of self-leadership is a bit stolen from Brené Brown's, I have to tell you. But it is to take responsibility for our own potential and having the courage to develop it. And that's really what the Wedding Co. is about, is as a community, we gather together to help people reach their full potential. And it's amazing how when you have a very specific cause to yourself and how it kind of feels lonely, the community you create around, like you guys and everybody watching right now, I don't feel alone. I feel I'm a bit alone with my cause, which is exciting, but I know I have my community to help spread the word. And it's pretty empowering, so.
Yeah, very, very well spoken, actually. I wanted to see you face to face. I'm glad that I'm here to hear you talk. And it's so inspiring. The why is the biggest question of our lives, actually. It gives you self-discovery.
Oh.
It gives you a cause to leave and wake up every morning and to go ahead in life, I feel.
And the beauty of it is that it's not about me. My cause is for everyone, right? I did a open mic with Simon Sinek where you go and you actually tell them your why and they help you. They actually help you create your why. And they changed one word in my why statement. And it took it from me speaking to an individual to me speaking to the world. And I was like, it kind of blew me away. It was pretty amazing. And when you think you're getting up to help the world, it takes the you out of it, and it's so exciting. It's really exciting, and we can do this on any level. You know, kids can do it. And the why will evolve. It evolves over time because you will change, but to really dig down to those feelings that you have, putting the words to the feelings that you have of when you sit down to make a gown, like what is that? Why are you sitting there? What is the making the gown, but why are you actually doing is the big question. And studying my industry changed my life. Like reading and reading and reading. It's been quite amazing. And changing the beliefs about myself also helps a lot.
That's what you just said. That's the biggest creativity.
See, my title, You Are Your Most Creative Challenge. I came up a year ago and I literally had no idea what I was going to talk about, but I knew that somehow I needed it's this creative process that we all love, right? We love our creative process, but if we actually turned that process onto ourselves, that's game changing. And unfortunately, it's very hard to look at yourself, because sometimes there's stuff you don't want to see. But if you can work through that, it's amazing. So.
You spoke about was that your path that you want to go down. What was that aha moment for you to make that change in your life?
Sorry, just repeat that.
You spoke about revenge.
Oh, yes.
You know, and that was obviously a path you
That was definitely a path.
What was your aha moment to realize that?
When I started studying this, I thought, why did I make that decision to do that? And I did it because I was angry at somebody else. And when that clarity came in the last year, I was like, wow. Because you can't sustain that. You can't sustain building a business based on something like revenge, right? And really, it's all about sustainability, is we're trying to sustain either our business or just our life. We're trying to just keep moving forward. And you can't do that based, number one, on what somebody else is doing. This is when the social media becomes really hard, because we sit there, criticize ourselves, and think we should be doing something else. We should be doing this. I should be doing that. But if you're looking at social media and go back to your why, it's just like, oh my God, I'm glad they're doing that, because I don't have to do that. Now I can pursue what I'm not saying this is easy and it makes it clear, but really we're all in this game together, right? And if we work together, we will all succeed, right? Because nobody will have the same why. This is the beauty of it. So there's no competition, right? There's absolutely no competition out there if you just keep on that road. But when I realized that, because this was a long time ago, and when I realized that why I did it was not sustainable, and the data shows it, then it's pretty amazing. And I have, I had regrets then. I don't have regrets, because look where I am now with it. So, and if anybody's going through that kind of situation right now, I've been there. You can get out of it. It just takes time, and it takes honesty, and it takes paying everybody back on payment plans, and it just takes working through it. But it's those instincts, those survival instincts, that I actually have words for now too. And I have to say, community was my biggest one. I look back now and I think I never burnt a bridge. And someone made a phone call to me, and I had an opportunity. I also can see opportunity, and I had an opportunity that I could take, and that's what made me have the ability to pay every single person back. It was slow, and it was a year, but because I had built such a strong community and someone recognized something, I was able to pull myself out of it. So some of those survival instincts, those are some of the things I want to dig deeper into and put words to and talk about this upcoming year in the Wedding Co., because you can pull those out and really use them when you need them. And when you have words to them, then these things don't become as scary. So, but if anybody's in that situation, I will be there. I am very empathetic because I have been there, so. Anything else? Jennifer? My friend Jennifer is working on her why. I'm very excited about that.
What other tools helped you sort of break through that personal mental glass ceiling? Because I kind of feel like that's sort of my stagnation too. And it's like holding myself back. I'm trying to break through that.
I think what part of it for me was fear of what other people thought and what other people were doing. So the question was, if you couldn't hear it, sorry, is what are some of the tools you can have to break through that personal glass ceiling? Number one, recognizing the beliefs about yourself. I had one huge belief about myself, and that was that I was uneducatable. I could not be educated. I was not educated enough. And when I broke through that by reading and learning and taking big ideas like this and bringing them down and understanding what my beliefs were about myself, that's when the glass ceiling started to break. Because it's only the beliefs about yourself that keep that glass ceiling there. And nobody can change that for you, right? So you have to dig deep, you have to read those books, understand the language and start using the words to those feelings that you're feeling. So when you're reading, You read those words, and whatever evokes a feeling, you got to dive in there and try to understand it. But those beliefs about yourself, they're also called paradigms. That's what keeps bringing you back, because you always go back to comfort, right? We always go back to what we know. We always go back to what we know. But courage is not going back to what you know. Define your values too. 3 values, and live by them. That was big for me. And I did do a lot of journaling. I actually, my 3rd career that I wanted, I actually wrote to it for an entire year. I wrote to it, good morning, career number 3, and I drilled it down and drilled it down and drilled it down to, I actually have the career I want. Like, I have the what, I just didn't know why I was doing it. I didn't know why I was trying to bring this community together so much. It's because I want to inspire self-leadership. I love potential. I see potential in everybody. And it's really important that we support each other on our potential. Because again, everybody has these beliefs. We have these self-beliefs, so. Great question. That's a whole other thing. Beliefs about ourselves. Anything else? Thank you guys so much. Thank you everybody for coming, and thank you for watching. Thank you for watching my 2nd official talk. Hopefully there are a lot more to come, so thank you again. And again, the recording will be up on The Wedding Co. and on catherinelash.com. So thank you. Goodbye. Are we not live anymore?